In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew this particular BuBu Kaftan with deep V neckline. You can see it has straps, multiple straps at the front as you can see. This is the deep neckline as you can see right here. So these are the, will I call it belts or straps or whatever, used to design, and this is the back strap as you can see, in this deep V neckline. It's actually trending. This BuBu Kaftan also has a side slit as you can see. Here is the down part of this kaftan. You can see how it looks, and it actually looks beautiful. I am using two colors of Ankara fabric. The upper color is 2 yards and the other down color is 1.5 yards. So I'm going to open up the 2 yards this way. Once you open up your fabric, here is 45 inches and this is 2 yards. Just go ahead and place it on fold this way. So when you place it on fold, you'll be having automatically 1 yard. Then you are going to pick the other end of it and put them together as shown. After putting them together, we'll begin to mark out our measurements. Neck width is 4 inches. Neck width, I used 4 inches. Then you are going to mark your shoulder divide by 2. Mine is 8 inches. Next, you measure your sleeve length. From that point, I measure 12 inches. You can make it longer, you can make it shorter. The neck depth for the front is 8 inches. Neck depth for the front is 8 inches. And I'm going to connect the 4 inches to the 8 inches as shown. You are going to connect a sharp V. The neck depth for the back is deeper, so I use 12 inches. You can make it as deep as you want, but I think 12 inches is moderate and okay. At the second thought, I thought of making the neck depth for the back 11 inches instead of 12 inches. But if you want to go by 12 inches, no problem. So I'll connect the 11 inches to the 4 inches width neckline as shown. On the sleeve line, the round sleeve opening, I'm going to measure 12 inches for the sleeve opening. And at that point of 12 inches, I'm going to measure my hip divide by 4. Mine is 12, then I added 5 inches to it. My hip divide by 4 plus 5 inches gave me a total of 17 inches. So I'm going to mark it at the hem line and connect a straight line all the way to the bust area. Then I'm going to connect the kimono curve as shown. I thought of adding 1.5 inches for my sleeve hemming, just to hem the sleeve. Just add 1.5 inches. So as it stands right now, we are done with the upper cutting. The down part of this BuBu Kaftan, I use 1.5 yards of fabric. So this is 36 inches here, which is just 1 yard. Then I added 18 more inches, making it 1.5 inches. So at this point, I'm going to cut out 1.5 inches for the down part. I'm going to place it on fold this way. After cutting, place it on fold. After placing the 1.5 yards into one fold, then you are going to put it together like this as well. After folding it, I'm going to bring the upper piece. You will bring the upper piece this way because we are going to join this up and down. The down part of the fabric, I created 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'm going to use it to join the up and down. So you are going to place your tape at 36 inches and measure your full length. So my full length right there, I just took 61 inches, including my hemming allowance. Next, you are going to measure the total of that your hip divide by 4 plus 5 inches. I got 17 inches in the upper area, and that is what I'm going to mark at the down part. Then I will rule a straight line. So we are going to cut out this so the it matches with what we have at the front piece as shown. So this is me trying to match them up to be sure they are on the same line. So after that is done, we are going to set the down part aside and we'll go over to the cutting of the upper part. Later we'll come back to the joining. So on the upper part, remember we have a strap. So to mark your strap, you are going to take from the shoulder line 1.5 inches and mark a straight line. So you are going to take the measurement of whatever you have there, multiply by 2 is going to be the strap for the back. So I'll go ahead to cut out this piece, starting from the sleeve area all the way down. Next, you are going to cut out the front or the shorter V neckline. Just cut out the shorter one, which is the front V neckline. After that, you are going to open up the fabric this way. Just separate the fabric this way. So we'll be able to cut out the back V neckline. This is me cutting out the back V neckline as shown. Next, we'll go over to the cutting of the facing. At this point, I will advise you make a line on the shoulder line. So you can see that part is the shoulder line. So I'm going to come down on the back piece. This is the back piece by 1.5 inches. Remember that is where our strap is going to be at the back at 1.5 inches. So I'm going to create a notch at that point, as you can see. Next, we are going to place the facing. For the facing, just bring a long fabric and place it on fold. There's no actual measurement. So once you place the long fabric, you should be able to cover up your V neckline very well. Make sure you pin the folded edge for the front and the folded edge for the back as shown. After that, secure with your pins, making sure the facing relaxes with the fabric very well, as you can see. Now you can go ahead to trace the neckline this way. So I'll just trace the neckline on the facing like this. After cutting out the facing, you can take off your pins right now. And then we are going to shape in the facing. Meanwhile, don't forget to create your notch on the facing too. The facing and the fabric should be having that notch where the strap is going to be. There is no actual measurement as to how to shape in your facing. Just go ahead and shape it the way you know how. So I will mark 3 inches this way. I will mark another 3 inches this way. Then I'll now follow 3 inches on the neckline like this. I'll just go ahead and mark 3 inches the way you see me mark right here. Just mark 3 inches, and this is the shape I want to give to my facing as shown. After marking out, go ahead and cut it out this way. I just follow the neckline like this and cut out my facing accordingly. So the facing is ready right now. To move over to the strap right now. My strap measures 2 inches on fold, and the length of my strap is 9 inches, including the side seam allowance. So I cut it at 9 inches like this. We'll go back to the machine and stitch 1/2 inch. After stitching, this is what I got right here. So I stitched it like a belt. I have to close up one side a little bit so I'll be able to turn like a belt. So after turning, this is what I got. I'm going to give it a good press. Cut out the part we stitched close to enable us to turn the strap. So this is what the strap looks like right now. Now I'm going to show you how to attach this strap to the dress. Next, you are going to spread open your neckline as shown. Place your facing right side to it, making sure the part that have the notches is going to match up with the fabric. Facing and the fabric has to match up. Then you secure with your pins. So I have to pin strategic points like the neckline depth. Then I pin the sides. Make sure the V neckline is matching appropriately with the facing this way. Then secure with your pin all the way around. I'm going to mark half an inch, that is the stitching line. So once I got to the notch, you leave 1 inch. Then after the notch, you also leave 1 inch. You continue to mark all the way down this way. So our stitching is going to be at half an inch. Before I get to the notch, I stopped 1 inch before the notch, and after the notch 1 inch as well. That is the space we are going to insert that strap. I believe you understand. So I'll go over to the machine now to stitch. So after stitching, this is what I got. Next, you are going to place your notches at the deep neckline as shown. The notch here will help your neckline to relax very well. So just notch it a little bit. So here is the spacing where we are going to insert the strap right now. It's time for us to stitch the strap. I will bring in my prepared strap, insert it on that hole this way. Make sure it's exactly at the notch. Okay, and you secure with your pin. Next, you are going to go over to the machine to top stitch on that pin first. We will top stitch there. After top stitching the strap, this is what I got, and this is how it's supposed to lay. Then you are going to flip your facing this way and insert it inside this way. Secure with your pin as well, and go ahead and top stitch. After top stitching the straps, this is what you'll be having. So when you put your facing inwards this way, it comes out that way. So I'm going to flip all my seams to the facing right now and top stitch on the facing all the way round. This is what the facing looks like. I'll go ahead and give it a good press as shown. You can also use your hemming gum to iron it out, or if you want to tack, you can go ahead and tack, but I like to use my hemming gum to iron out. After I'm done ironing it out, this is how it looks like at the end of the day. So you can see it's actually looking flat. I'm going to set the upper part aside, then we'll move over to the down part. I'll bring in that down part. Remember this line we highlighted? I'll just go ahead and cut it out so it matches with what I have on the upper piece. Don't forget to cut out the folded edge too. So cutting out the folded edge, I'll be having 2 pieces as shown. I'm going to join one of these pieces to the front and the other to the back, but we are going to join the back piece first because the back piece does not have those straps. So this is the back piece. I would go ahead and stitch half an inch to join the both of them. Later I'll top stitch. After joining, this is what I have for the back piece. Then we'll go over to the front piece. I'm going to bring in the part that should be joined, but meanwhile we are going to attach our strap. So the first thing you are going to do is to place the fabric on fold and get the center line. After placing it on fold this way, you are going to mark from the center front 1 inch. The spacing we are going to have for these strips is 2 inches, but you mark 1 inch first from the center front, then mark 2 inches, 2 inches till you get to the end of it like this. After marking the 2 inches, the next you are going to do is to place notches on that line. So I'll place notches on the lines like this. This line is going to have a strap. I will strip the other one and place on the lines that will have a strap. So just look at what I'm doing and place your notches. So the truth of the matter is that we are going to space the straps. Just open up my fabric completely and I'll begin to extend the lines of the notches. These lines, these are the lines where I'm going to place my straps. At this point, I've already counted at intervals the number of strips I'm going to place. So I cut out 8 strips and I used 2 different fabric for it. Here are my strips. The length of my strip measures 17 inches. So you are going to mark the wrong side of it. The length measures 17 inches while the width measures 4.5 inches. You can make it bolder or you can make it exactly 4.5 inches. So when you place it on fold and sew like a belt at 1/2 inch, you will have exactly what I have on this dress. So you just go ahead and turn your belt. So I've already turned all the strips I have. I have 8 of them. I've turned them just like you turn your belt. The next is to bring in the fabric and we are going to place it at intervals. Before placing, you are going to get the midpoint. That is the first thing you will do. Get your midpoint, put a pin at that point. At that center front, we are not going to place any strip. So I'll just place them as at interval. As you can see, I'll secure with my pin. So like I said, I use 2 different fabrics. So I'll keep pinning them at intervals this way. So if I bring another one, I'll place. So I'm placing the open part on the upper part. So by the time we stitch it, it will be closed. Then the closed part, the belt part is on the downside. So I kept pinning it this way. After I'm done placing the strips as shown, we are going to place the upper part right side to each other. You go ahead and stitch 1/2 inch. Here on the machine, this is me stitching 1/2 inch like that. I'm going to stitch all the way to the end of it as shown. So you can see I'm stitching right on top of the pins this way. After stitching, you can see how the belts are laying. So I'll just go ahead and take off my pins as shown. Next, I cut a very long fabric like this, which measures 3 inches in width. We are going to use this to cover up the strip as a design. So I'm going to cut 3 inches width of this long strip. Of course, this is the strip I cut out from the side of the down part. After cutting out, I went ahead to iron 1/2 inch on one side. That is the part that I'm going to use to top stitch this. So just iron 1/2 inch. I want you to pay attention to the placement of this strip. So I'm going to place the plain part that is not ironed to align with the joining. Then the part that is ironed is going to cover it this way and we top stitch on it. So I'll go over to the machine right now to stitch. So this is it. I'm stitching right on that joining this way. So I'll just go ahead and fold it in this way and top stitch. So this is just like a design. The part that you ironed, you are going to top stitch on it like this to the end. After top stitching on one end, you can go ahead and top stitch the under end as shown. So we are done right now, and this is what we got at the end of the day. Next, I'll go over to hem the sleeve area. Just go ahead and fold in 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch like this is what I got after I'm done hemming the sleeve area. Next, put the dress right side to right side this way, and we'll go ahead to stitch the sides. So before stitching the side, remember there is a side slit. So the next thing I'm going to do is to put the dress together so we'll be able to notch the side slit. So you put them the sides together like this. For the slit, I'm going to measure 20 inches from the hem line. You can also make it 18 inches depending on the length of your slit. I've put a notch on the 20 inches, so I'll go ahead and stitch 1 inch up to that slit point. After stitching to the slit point, this is what I got. Next, I'll go ahead to hem the side of the slit this way. I'm going to fold it in this way, and I'm going to top stitch all the way down. Once I get to the down piece like this, I'll also fold it in and stitch. Next, I'm going to place notches on the armholes this way. Don't forget to place notches to ease that part. This is what the dress looks like. You can see it looks very neat and beautiful.